Me?
Yeah, you do it. You do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Near Mint Condition, a channel where you can be part of a positive, honest community and lay claim to some comic book knowledge. Comic book knowledge through Kelly Thompson. Yay!
Happy to have you back,
joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
I don't think you've interviewed her before, right? I know I have a couple times, and then Dom and I have a couple. Once we did a little Jeff the Landshark giveaway.
Oh, so it's my spring break, so I was like, "Yay, I'll be home."
Yeah. No, this is our first meeting for sure. For sure.
Yeah, she was excited. She was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Kelly Thompson." And I'm like, "Yeah, she created Jeff the Landshark," but she was not like, "Man, shout Kelly Thompson, her entire interview, love her."
Okay, when you yell it,
So nice.
I will click on it to show you are yelling it. And Ben was referencing something that I don't know. Do you know? Will this be the interview we finally find out what event Kelly was a semifinalist in 1979?
She's a mystery. Yeah, what was that event, Kelly? Did you ever?
So I'm sorry that I can't give you the exclusive here.
Okay.
I have talked about it before. It's both interesting and not interesting at all. It really depends on what kind of stories you like. I think it's nothing. It has nothing to do with me except for that it's the title of one of my favorite songs, and it's a weird, obscure jazz band called the Bad Plus, and they have this incredible song called 1979 Semifinalist. And I think when I picked it, I was like looking for like some logo and some branding and like some identity stuff when I was trying to figure that out early in my career. And Kelly Thompson is like not a great name. I mean, I like it fine. It's fine. It's just nothing to write home about, you know? So I was looking for something that was a little more interesting that I could build around, like a logo and things like that, that wasn't just my name. It always seems so lame. Sorry, not lame. I try not to use that word. It always seems a little sad, maybe, that just Kelly Thompson, writer. I don't know. It seemed silly. And so I was looking for this idea, and I think 1970 semifinalists, like I really connect with that idea, like almost winning but keeping trying. Like I feel like that's sort of like a outcry for me, not a catchphrase, but like a kind of thing I'm always really trying. And like even when you're almost winning, like, you know, you got to keep going. I don't know. So that's what it is. You guys should all listen to 1979 Semifinalists by the Bad Plus. It's on YouTube. It's great.
And James just linked it on
Well, that's her profile, her blue stuff.
Oh.
That's okay.
So
James had you covered.
I was
okay.
like, oh, look, there's a link to the song. Okay, 2 years.
So
no, my turn.
Okay, wow, I haven't talked at all. Okay, go
ahead. I just want to say after a few minutes of talking with you, you know, before we started, and after your explanation about the 1979 semifinalist name, that I really respect how deep you are and how you overthink everything. That's awesome.
I do overthink everything. I don't know how awesome it is, though. I was talking to my partner recently because I don't really think of myself as being indecisive, but I think I am. I'm like a very specific brand of indecisive where it's like, let's do all the research. Let's spend all the time figuring it out, and then still let's wait too long. Now that you have all the information, let's still mull it over. I don't know if it's like a sort of like the only conservative part of me or something, that like I'm just like very cautious. It's irritating.
Oh my gosh, I'm Kelly Thompson.
Yeah.
I think your partner and I are probably in the same support group.
Yeah,
Oh my
guys,
God.
well, he'd probably like to know the name of that support group. Please reach out. He'd love to have someone to talk to.
That's me. Oh my God.
I mean, the number of times that I've felt something like, just to make it about writing, since that's what we're here about, like the number of times I've felt like, all right, I could do X. That's going to work. It's good, but I'm not thrilled about it. And listen, you don't get to be thrilled about every panel of every page. So there's nothing wrong with that even. But, you know, you want it to be good. So you're thinking about it more. You're like, no, I can figure something better out. So you're looking for why. and you still end up doing X. You just do it 4 days later, and now your editor's yelling at you because you should have turned it in 2 days ago, you know? So I don't know. I don't know how to turn that part off about myself. And if I did turn it off, it might,
you might not be as creative.
Well, yeah, it might turn off other things that I'm like sort of aren't aware of, like my research process, or like, you know, the steps you do to like figure out how to do what you're doing. So like I'm hesitant to monkey with it, but it's incredibly frustrating. It's really irritating to like get it to recognize you're getting in your own way that way, and be like, how can I streamline this and like stop like getting in my there's enough other people getting in my way. I don't want to get in my own way, you know?
That's me.
Yeah. I feel like the first time I interviewed Kelly, I said, this feels like I'm in a therapy session with a Landshark, because she was using Jeff the Landshark as an avatar. And she was giving me
that's totally me.
This advice.
As a teacher, I get my way all the time, and then I get frustrated that I just like wasted so much time on something that I didn't even do, and I just should have went with point A to be. Okay, I've started a few questions. Now it's your turn, baby. And then for those of you in the chat, I'm starting the questions.
I mean, Melanie brings a chaotic energy, and I like it.
Oh, go on. Yeah, chaotic energy. That's it. That's the word. I'm a fan of it too. When I talked to you last, I think it was the interview with Dom and I talking to you about the beginning of Absolute Wonder Woman. But I wanted to just ask you, like, how much planning ahead of time were you and Hayden working on this project before issue 1 came out? Like, when did Absolute line start being talked about at DC Comics? And
could I throw Lance's question in there as well, because it kind of connects how many issues are envisioning? So you're asking about the process before it started, like and then Lance is asking like how long you're wanting to go. Okay.
But my question was at the very beginning is like how long were you given? When was this idea? And then
so I want to say first of all that it was probably the longest tail I've ever been given for development and time.
Okay.
And it was cut short. So as I recall, again, I'm not looking at any calendars or anything, so forgive me, this may be a little inaccurate, but as I recall, in the fall of 2023, Scott talked to me a little bit about Absolute, about what he was doing. And listen, it was very early. I mean, 2023, it didn't debut until the end of 2025, like fall of 2025, right? Or wait, do I have my years wrong even? So is it 2022? Fuck,
we're in 2026 right now.
Yes,
right. So it started in fall of 2024, right?
Yes. Oh, it did? Oh.
That's right? Yeah.
You are correct.
We got a year to 2025. Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. So
no, you're good. You're good.
So first books, Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman, and then Superman was third, I believe. Or maybe we were third. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kelly, focus. My God. Okay. So those came out in fall of 2024. I really started working in early spring or late winter of 2024, but I actually had talked to Scott about it in, I think it was fall of 2023, where he was just still figuring out what it was. I think you'd have to ask him how far along he was, but I think I was just a name on a list probably of people for Wonder Woman, and he was sort of gauging interest and stuff. And I was interested. I remember my big concern was it's hard enough writing a Wonder Woman book. Do I want to write a Wonder Woman book when Tom King is out there, like, writing a really big Wonder Woman book? Like, are we just going to be caught in the shadow of that? I'm not sure that's going to be a great idea for me. Maybe I shouldn't do it. I was struggling with deadlines. I was doing all this stuff. But when he came back to me, and I don't know, maybe he'd talked to other people and it had fallen out or it hadn't worked out, or maybe that was how long it took to come back. When he came back my way, it was either like winter or early spring of 2024. And he was like, do it. You're gonna do it. The Wonder Woman book. If you're into it, I want to see your pitch. And I got started. And that's in that like month that I had started working on that. That's when I tell the story about I was days away from calling Scott and being like, you got to find someone else. I don't want to burn all your runway, but I can't figure it out. And then it just sort of clicked over in the next couple of days, and I was able to avoid that horrible phone call and write what's turning out to be my favorite thing I've ever gotten to do. So it's I think that was still the most runway I'd ever gotten. I think part of the planning working better on this one than anything I've done before. Some of that is them having more lead time. Some of that is the way Scott is running all of it with everyone, and the editors are running everything, where it's a pretty lean teams, but we keep in touch regularly. Like, it's very well coordinated. I think all of that stuff helps. I also think, when you're doing this kind of book, it helps to have, to stand on the shoulders of all the book stuff that's come before that's so great, and you're free to reinterpret it and mix it together and, make new things with it. So I think there were a lot of things working for us that made that sort of the best lead time I've ever had. As to the question of how long we're going to go, I think we're going to go as long as we can. I know Scott loves to say stuff like, we've plotted out through issue 50 or whatever. I can't say that, but I can say we're at least lightly plotted through 34. And 34, I mean, it wouldn't be headed toward an end. It would just be, the end of that arc that we were in. So there's no real end in sight. I have ideas of things we could do toward the end. So I think about that sometimes, because I'm trying to really, it's the first time in my entire comics career when I've been able to layer plot lines and characters and A and B plots and side plots. And it's really exciting and fun. And it's honestly how the books are supposed to work.
So I have a follow-up question, and I know this is something that every writer thinks about, but when writing something like this to me, absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Batman, absolute Superman, the way those books have started, and all the other ones that have followed, feels like a really good standalone, you don't need to read everything else in the DC universe before this or after this. It's such and keeping the same creative team for the most part, it's like, this really feels like what people enjoy about manga. I'm surprised they haven't done a compact edition yet, I say.
I think they're talking about them, aren't they? It's hard to keep up with.
I don't know, Kelly. Do you have breaking news?
I do not have breaking news. I thought that was in the mix, but maybe that's just maybe that's just because I see people talk about it all the time. Like, I
think it's a no-brainer, right? And oh my gosh, at $9.99, that would bring in so many more readers. So my question is, how do you ever see yourself exiting the book and then having somebody else come in and write this character? Or I mean that's the reality of working for one of the big two, right? Like that character.
I mean, my intention is that I'll write Diana as long as the absolute universe exists and the book's going. Yes. I have no intention of leaving.
Love it.
It's by far, I mean, I can't even explain it to people. It's not only the most critical acclaim and the most fan response, it's also the most money I've ever received. It's a win across the board. It's 5 stars all across the board. The only reason I would leave was if, I don't know, something happened to me or if, I don't know, someone came in and laid down a hammer about things we can't do or something. I mean, I guess that could be a conceivable thing. We've only had one thing that I've been getting regular pushback on, and we'll see. I'm just going to keep trying. I'm just not going to give up, and we'll see. I can see Melanie's face. I don't know what that is, but it's a knowing look.
That's not fair, Kelly. I can't see your face.
I know.
So I can't judge what you're doing.
I've got the chat here.
It's completely
and he's going like this, and I was like,
because I'm sorry. I don't want to dominate the conversation because I'm not like that at all. I do love sharing. That's why I include the live stream so they can join in on the conversation. And my wife is here to remind me.
What I wanted to say, because it goes along with what you said, is that in my classroom I bought a copy of the trade to give to people, and one time somebody's like, I don't know anything about Wonder Woman, right? Like she's like, she doesn't really read comics, but she loves reading. I was like, oh, give this a try. It's so good. And she likes Greek mythology. I was like, oh, you'll love it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree that it's great for like new readers getting into it. And in fact, when one of my freshmen, she was done with a test, and I've got like this reading corner in my classroom. She picked up the book and she held it up. She's like, that's like Guts' sword.
Like, yeah.
Yes. So, Bart, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to read what Eden, my student, wanted to say beforehand because I got to word it edgewise in the conversation. Okay. So, Eden says she's a fan of you. She loves Jeff the Landshark. He's so cute. And she started reading Absolute Wonder Woman and loves your creative ideas. And she's going to finish the first volume in my classroom and said there should be more. But she said that as she was leaving. The bell was ringing, so I couldn't explain to her that, yes, there is more.
I love that. What age are these kids?
She's 14.
14.
Freshman.
Okay, perfect. Great. Because I don't have kids, because I, as a reader, always like really read up, I'm very bad at that question of like, what's appropriate? What are the age groups? So I always stumble on that. So I'm always interested to see what kids are reading it and like, can handle it. So it's always good information for me to.
Oh, yeah. I'm very lenient with violence. Like, I don't care. I never can tell something's too violent. I don't care.
Like I said, I was always reading up too. So I think a lot of really smart kids do that, and it doesn't mean it's inappropriate. It just means they're handling more complex topics, and it's easy for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't have kids, I'm sensitive to it. I think like I get why parents, feel a way about a thing.
I know that you don't go to conventions, but you have to have some kind of like feedback, maybe from DC, that's like, have you seen how many young people you have gotten to read comics because of your book? It's amazing. Like we put material out on TikTok, which is a completely different demographic than YouTube.
Yeah.
And every time I talk about an absolute book, especially Absolute Wonder Woman, it's a bunch of like young kids that are like, oh my gosh, this is the best comic. Like, is there more of this? Like asking these amazing questions because I love when people or any age are new to reading comics. So I love the next generation that are reading comics. So that's another thank you for doing that too.
Well, thank you.
And thank you, Bar, for the super chat. So Kelly, this is Bar's gift that she gets. She's the only one to get Harley Quinn. And I'm going to also show her other comments. Okay. Absolute Kelly. First of all, huge fan. Are you writing Diana as a queer character? You want Diana to kiss Zatanna, right? Is DC not allowing Diana Zatanna to kiss?
This is going down a spiral.
Diana and her harem. Gosh darn it, Omar, let her answer my question.
Okay.
So I am writing her as a queer character. That's not the same as saying, this is so tricky. That's not the same as saying DC will definitely allow her to be canon queer on the page. I don't have an answer for that. I traditionally in alternate universes, Diana has been allowed that flexibility that I personally believe she should always have. But I think it's a little bit like we're being foisted by our own success a little bit here, whereas I feel like we made her so popular, it all became such a phenomenon that then, I don't know, I guess it becomes a different question for them. So I don't know. I can't honestly answer that question. I don't know that anyone at DC can. I think we're taking it on a as it goes basis. There has been some frustration for me here on this point. I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for saying the things I'm saying right now. And I mean, I think it's very obvious when you're reading the book. Here's the thing. Maybe this will help people understand, fans and DC. Diana is beyond thinking about people's gender as a construct. Like, I mean, she's just so far beyond that. Like, she grew up in hell with little demon pets. Like, she just is not going to think like, oh, I really love this person. It's too bad they don't have the right equipment. Like, she's just not built that way. She's a unique person in the world, in the universe. And it seems truly laughable to me to be like, oh no, she's straight, or she's a lesbian. She just only is into this one thing. Like, it's so the antithesis of what I think of as Diana. So it's impossible for me to not write her queer. I think she's everything. But I don't know, man. That's about as much as I can say. I think, there's there's part of it is, I worry that I've put this question too forward in Diana's story, just because I don't really think, like, I get excited about all the stuff that's happening with her too, and it's a feedback loop. When the fans get excited, I feel that excitement and I get excited too, like we all do, the whole team, I'm sure DC feels it as well on some level, right? Like, so there's a thing where you want to lean into what everyone's enjoying and what's happening. But if I'm totally honest, I don't think Diana really has room for love in her life, in like a romantic love kind of way. Like, that would be a whole new journey for her, like a chapter she hasn't even unlocked. And like, she's got just bigger fish to fry. Like, she has incredibly important do or die things on her plate. I'm not saying that doesn't mean she can't fall in love as she's going through it. I think that's why we sort of lean into the Zatanna stuff, because it was just what was happening on the page. It was just like sort of what was organically happening from smashing those characters together. And it's really fun. And I don't want to run away from it. At the same time, it doesn't really feel right to me that Diana would sort of selfishly pursue a relationship at this point in her, nascent. I mean, she's only been on Earth for she's only been on Topside for, I don't know what it is, months in the actual history. So it's tricky. I think there was a choice to try to pull back on it and do any of it, which felt wrong. Or there was, well, let's lean into it where we can, and let's try to just tell the best story we can. And so I think that's where we end up, and I hope that's happening, but I don't know.
Good answer. Good answer.
That was an amazing answer.
Like, oh my gosh.
Legit, that reminds me, 2 years ago, I interviewed Chris Claremont, and I always love talking to Chris Claremont, but it reminds me of what he was like. Now, back then, back in the 80s and 90s, they wrote characters that like, no, that character is gay, but they couldn't say anything because of editorial, right? They were like, no, we're not going to have any gay characters. And I remember telling him about Kitty Pryde and this one girl, like, what was she, tattoo artist that looks like magic. And he was so pissed. He was like, what? And I was like, and he was mad because he was like, no, not magic. The redhead, Rachel. That's who's supposed to be with Kitty. And I think that was so, like, I don't know, it melted my heart, because if you read his comics, there's always a connection between Kitty and Rachel, but back then they couldn't say anything. So I love when a writer just loves the character so much that they get pissed immediately when somebody else writes the character a different way. And like, yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, most of my characters I write as queer. I got to be honest. And it's not because I have some agenda. It's not because I think everyone should be gay. It's because I think in the fictional worlds that we've built and that these people live in, like, once you've like hung out and fought battles with a talking raccoon, like, I think you probably think about what people can and should be. And like, once you have an emotional conversation with a talking raccoon, like, I'm not saying you want to sleep with the raccoon. I'm just saying, don't you go, huh?
Versus George Kelly.
I'm just saying the universe is so vast. Like, you can't even, it's not like for you and me and Melanie where we're walking around the street and there's just human beings walking around and those are the only people that are an option for you, this is a world where aliens and people from other planets and like, it's just a crazy universe. It seems bizarre to me that people who've had the experiences that superheroes have had going to other planets and stuff would still be so like locked down binary gender rules.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, no, I do what you're saying.
So we get like,
what is your
I
face?
do what
Where
you
did you think I was going? I thought I was being so clear. Oh God.
No, I understood.
I got it. You took a little bit of a turn with the raccoon, a little too long, and then you brought it back. So, but that reminds me of like people getting so pissed off at Ryan North's Fantastic Four when Johnny Storm hooked up with this weird looking alien. I'm like, it's Johnny Storm. Of course he's hooked up with an alien that doesn't look like a human being.
His best friend is a pile of rocks. This would change your brain, man. I'm just trying to say, like, think about it of the way you'd be living. I mean, yeah, you live at the Future Foundation. Do you know the weird shit you've seen? Are you kidding me? Like, I just think people, you know, but it's a funny thing because I do think it's a thing that, like, an issue. I should know the number. Is it X Factor 67?
Oh!
Okay,
you're speaking my language. Go on.
Is that the one where the X Factor is in therapy?
That would be X Factor 87.
87. I mean, I love that I got one of the numbers. Pretty good.
You got it.
Yeah.
But I should burn it on my retinas because I don't know that I'm a comic book writer, or maybe I don't know that I'm a good comic book writer at all. Without
they're saying 67 because it's the internet.
Oh goodness me, I'm sorry.
Fuck, is that why I said that? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why you said that.
It's gotten into my brain.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I should know that issue all the time because it's the issue that that made me go, holy shit, look at like Quicksilver being like, I suddenly understood Quicksilver and why he was such a pain in the ass when he was like, everyone is on slow motion. Like, do you know how irritated I get at people? So, you know, I just think that we're trained as readers to want really creative fights and power usage and stuff. And that is some of my favorite stuff. I'm not saying that's not part of it. I hate it when we all get lazy. And it happens to me too. Like fight pages, for some reason, even though I love writing them, they're always the last pages to get done in my script. And it irritates the hell out of me because I really care about the fights and I think I put a lot of thought into them, but I somehow end up there every time. And I think it's partly because there's an easy way to do fight sequences, which is just the expected whatever fight sequence that you're going to have, that you have for however many pages of every issue. And then there's like a really creative one that does something new, you know? So I think but that's a spend. That's a big creative spend where you really have to, start, complaining about queer mutants. Agreed. So yeah, anyway. I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what I was talking about. Something about.
We were gonna talk about X-Men some more. Kelly. That's what we were.
No, we had a super chat that I've shown like 10 times. Sorry, J. Michael.
Okay, that's fine.
It's very weird having fans. I think the weirder thing is living in like a sort of niche fandom where you're only famous to like in a very specific room. Like, you know, my fame gets me almost nothing. And most rooms you'd say, hey, everyone, here's Kelly Thompson. And everyone would be like, so fucking what? Who's Kelly Thompson? But there are specific rooms where I could get real applause. And that is a weird thing to think about, to have that sort of niche fame that sort of benefits you and sort of is a negative also in certain ways, like, you know, worrying about stalkers and trolls and things like that and protecting your privacy and stuff. It's surreal for sure.
Reaper XC had a few questions at the beginning of the chat. Kelly, can you help get an Absolute Batman issue 16, Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 3 collection, please?
I have actually reached out to the collected editions department and they got back to me today. So it's funny because it's another team that's working on those Absolute collections and they're going to let them know that people want them like that. Because what he's talking about is volume.
Yeah, I know. I mean, no, you can explain to them, but you don't have to explain it to me. I'm aware.
Okay, I was just. I didn't know.
No, tell the people. Tell the people.
Well, they know. They know.
Okay.
As long as you know and they know, we're good. Let's move on. Move on.
I mean, the answer is that's way above my fucking pay grade. I wish I got to make those decisions. I do think that while it would be very cool for them to be in there, I do think that when they became, there was the discussion to do that or like vague talks about that back when they were a very clear part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
But once we decoupled them into sort of being their own one-shots, I think then it became a question of, you know, does it work? I think in the case of our trade, it's already...
I was not mansplaining.
Okay, to be fair, in Omar's defense, he's used to...
You don't have to defend me.
No, listen.
All right, go ahead, baby.
He's used to talking to comic creators that don't know, like, that they're going to publish a collection of blah 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 their work and things like that, because you're not told. So is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't know Kelly had her finger on the pulse of the industry.
You were
like
just
that.
trying to be helpful. Yeah.
Well, you know, I know that vanity searching is frowned upon by people, but without acting like I'm more famous than I am, which I'm not, I will say that a lot of vanity searching is about speed and efficiency. If I want to see if there are any reviews or chatter about Absolute Wonder, that's just the quickest way to go to the feed and like, see, is anyone talking about it? What's going on? And so when I went a couple days ago, all anyone was talking about was angry about the cover and that the issue isn't in there. Like, literally, that's all that was coming up on Twitter and everything, were people yelling about that. And like, I get it. And part of me is grateful that they care and that they're making their voices heard. I do not know the answer on the cover. I will tell people who are extremely worried about that they debuted the volume 2 cover with the wrong cover. So it might not be a decided thing. I will say that in the case of volume 2, we all had a cover that we knew we wanted it to be, and that was issue 11. So there was no debate there. I think the fans know well, yes, issue 16 or 18 would be a better representational cover for this arc, Season of the Witch. Why do you have Batman on the cover? But how many issues do we want to sell? I don't know. I would be more inclined to put the Batman image on the back, but I don't know. I don't know what they'll decide. As for not putting the thing in the issue, I mean, I think it sucks a little bit, like, because maybe what they're trying to do is get people to buy both volumes. Like, well, even though you're not reading Absolute Batman, if you want all the Absolute Wonder Woman appearances now, you'll pick up this trade. So, like, maybe that's the thinking. But it might also just be as practical as, I know our trade is pretty full. I think ours has the annual plus the 5 or 7 issues, so it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So that might also just be the concern, because I know what it is, because it's a 5-issue arc plus the Batman issue plus the annual, so it's already a really big volume. So that's part of the concern, I assume.
And if you're coming into this channel because you're a big fan of Kelly Thompson, I was not mansplaining anything to her. Just to clarify,
he was just trying to.
I just get excited when talking about collected editions, and I got really excited when Kelly already knew, and I didn't know how to respond to that, because, like, Melanie said, most of the time creators are like, "What? They're making an omnibus of my stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's got this, and I've already asked them for this," and they're like, "Wow, that's so cool." But Kelly's like, I already know why.
Well, in fairness, if it was the omnibus, I might not have known, because that is hard to. I think that's very hard to keep track of, especially because that can go really far along without you knowing anything about that they're building one. I mean, I was sure last year Marvel was building a Rogue and Gambit omnibus to collect. I do not know why that still doesn't exist. It's just like leaving money on the table to me. Why would you not make that happen when the TV series was hot shit? What are we doing? Why don't we want money?
You are preaching
to the choir.
I'm not a choir. I'm just the middleman. I let them know. Just like Hawkeye, your Hawkeye would like we actually your Hawkeye got voted last night. We went over the top 60 most wanted Marvel Omnis that don't exist.
Oh my god!
And your name got. I think there were 2 books, but particularly your Hawkeye run was in there.
That's awesome.
It made it in the top 60. People voted. We had like over 4,000 votes, and it was huge. And it's really cool to see that people want that book.
That's awesome.
That's what they should.
The Hawkeye Hawkeye, obviously, especially because that's my first time getting to work with Leo and Jordy together, like Dream Team stuff. I'd love for that to happen. But the Rogue and Gambit stuff, it just makes so much sense. It's like a perfect size for an omnibus to do the Rogue and Gambit mini, the wedding issue, and then the Mr. and Mrs. X series. And
well, are you mapping it, Kelly? Because you are more than welcome to show up on Map My X with Kelly Thompson. Hell yes.
Just to put it out when the X-Men series, like, it's great material for those characters. It's exactly what the people who are watching that animated show want to see. I don't know.
Weird. Do you know how hot like Marvel Rivals has made these characters? Like Rogue and Gambit, every freaking day on TikTok, someone's like, "What's the best 10 stories for Gambit? What's the best 10 stories for?" And I don't know how many videos I've done on both of them, and every time your book comes up on the way, I'm like, "If you want love, it's Rogue and Gambit." But oh my gosh, I don't know. And those trade paperbacks are long out of print. Yeah,
well, that's the reason it's so prevalent on my mind, is I get emailed and messaged all the time for people looking for it, also for people who can see the covers in my store, but it's been sold out for years. Like, I should just edit the store. It's the way the Squarespace is. I don't like to remove. I guess you can hide old listings. Maybe that's what I should do to streamline it a bit. But yeah, I get tons of messages from people because they can't find it. It's a bummer.
Yeah, we'll.
But also, like, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't want it to become a complaint-a-thon. But I'm pretty mad about what's happening with the second Captain Marvel volume for the Omnibus. So, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I remember messaging you when I got to break the news for the second volume, and then it was canceled, and they decided to remap it to include everything.
Yeah.
That actually leads into a question.
Yeah, that's let's see.
It's Martian Pilgrim.
Yeah,
I was asking.
Let me get this one really quick. Reaper, just to let you know, loves the call. And wondering about volume 2. Even where is it? Even sending money directly to Baby for the call volume 2. So.
I mean, I wish that was easy. Mattia and I have talked about running like a Kickstarter to get, because, you know, Mattia, we were able to do volume 2 of Black Cloak, but not the Cull, simply because Meredith is incredibly fast and nimble. She's got like a totally different style, but Mattia's style is, you know, that painted art, that realistic painted art. It takes a really long time. It's not like a guy who can be on a monthly book, and that's great. I think the industry can take all different kinds of this, but that makes it hard for us to fund it, because, you know, we have to fund him for like a year before it would start coming out. So but I don't know. I think we talked about a Kickstarter. I think here's the problem, everybody. Once you get into these things, it becomes, because for a long time there was this feeling of the thing you want is to go to a lot of trades, because those trades keep selling over the years and they can help prop up the new issues so that you get the longer run of the trade, and then you can do collected editions, you can do these things, whatever. So this was the idea for a long time. I'm sure it's still a viable idea, but the new idea is also like, oh, if you're not at X mark by issue, you know, 5 or 6 or whatever, you should probably just start over with a new IP. But that, because they think the same way that Marvel does, the new number 1 and the new idea gets the eyes on it. And then also now you've got more IP in your catalog for when Hollywood comes calling. Well, the Hollywood stuff has become a huge problem, as most people know, ever since the pandemic and the writer's strike. You know, it's never gotten back on its feet. Also, all the companies getting gobbled up by a few companies is bad for everyone as far as getting new content out there. So it becomes a real question, like, should Mattia and I try to fund the Cull too? Or should we try to make something new together that you guys would like? Should I try to write a pilot or a screenplay for the Cull, knowing that if it gets picked up, that will give us some money that we could maybe make a new volume? It's like every book you do, it's like, these are the questions. So I wish I had an answer that was easy. It pains me greatly to maybe not be able to keep doing the Cull ever. Especially because the Cull is a very flexible idea, in that, you know, Mattia could, if he wanted, work on it for the rest of his life with stories, but we could also be using other artists to draw other world, because we've established that there are all these other parallel worlds. Well, who knows what they look like? They don't all have to look like Mattia's style, you know? So there was a very flexible idea that had a lot of really fun ways we could have gone, and I still hope we'll do them, but thanks.
Well, Paul Screenplay is the answer. You are welcome.
Please make sure Hollywood is functioning properly before I do that, okay?
or just functioning. This is a really good question. I don't know if you can answer this, Kelly.
Does the renaming of the second Captain Marvel Omni to no longer be a Kelly Omni Volume 2 affect Kelly in any way?
I think it affects the fans more than me, to be honest, because now it will look stupid on your shelf. Sorry for saying that out loud. Omar is making a face.
Okay, that's not fair. I can't see if you're making a face.
I am probably making a face. I just think it's
you talk like a fan, though, so you understand fans. You get it.
Listen, them renaming it, I think, is dumb for the fans, because it looks stupid on the shelf now because it doesn't look like it's paired with the other one. It's really dumb. Well, this will also be a 4-hour show.
Because you have a volume 1, and then you have
and then
higher,
nothing else.
further, faster.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't really affect me. I mean, I guess there's some prestige of it's nice to have the Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel Volume 1 and 2. Like, I'm not going to pretend that's not cool. It's cool, but it's more about, if they were going to put a bunch of other stuff in there, I was always, it doesn't matter what they would call it, my pay for whatever will be fractionally split up amongst all the people who are a part of it. So the name doesn't really mean that much. I think it's a bigger deal for the fans and for the consistency in the volumes. But we all know this is a very big problem with, I don't know if it's a problem for all comics. It's certainly a problem for big American comics, how they do these volumes and trades and how they sit on your shelf. I mean, listen, I'm looking at 1,000,000 books right now, and I can fucking point out the ones where they changed the way the fucking spine looks partway through. It's irritating, man. Sorry.
Are you talking about my
book?
I thought you were talking about my Excalibur set. I'm like, oh, actually, Kelly, because the logo changed and this is the different eras of Excalibur. But okay, you're talking about your own book, so I got you.
Juan Nate, I've got your question started from earlier, but this one's on topic, so let me get Carson's first. Question about the upcoming Captain Marvel, highest, furthest, fastest omnibus. What artist did you work with, and what was that like?
I don't know. What do you know off the top of your head, Omar? What issues are in that one?
That would be the Elena Casagrande issues. It's the tail end of your run. So
not Elena.
What is her name? She did. Oh my gosh, she's the artist on Iron Man right now.
Carmen, but Carmen was at the beginning though.
Yeah, but she did some of the tail end issues with you.
No, she never came back.
What?
I mean, I wish she was.
It was. I'm sorry. It was the covers that she was doing, and that's where they pulled one of the covers from. Okay.
And she did come back to do the one shot. We did that together.
Well, you just yelled at me and told me I was wrong. So I'm not arguing with Kelly Thompson anymore.
I'm gonna have to learn how to modulate my voice, because my partner says I yell at him all the time, and I'm like, that's not yelling.
You see, my wife's a teacher, so I always get the teacher voice.
No,
there it is. There it is.
You are the one. You're like, I'm not yelling, and I'm like, MF, or do I need to record you so that you can see that you are objectively yelling and raising your voice? Okay.
I'm Latino. It's how we talk.
I'm trying to keep that in mind.
We all have our excuses. We hold on to them tightly. So yeah, I don't remember exactly who that was. At the very end, it was Javier Pina came in, who I just love his stuff so much. I'm
never going to recover from this, Kelly. I'm never going to get my...
We've crossed the streams with your other channel, and now we're lost.
All for one simple question, and I was just...
No, sir.
I don't even know how I got in trouble with my wife when all I did was just try to answer.
Well, let's see. Sergio did the big Captain Marvel, where we brought in all the Marvels sort of thing. He was there for that arc. He was also there for part of the Brood arc, and then
With the
Pina
X-Men,
came
yeah.
in for some of that. Yeah, Pina came in for some of that, and there was also Juan Fiera came in. We had him for a couple issues. He was fantastic. Oh, and in that cool one where Captain Marvel went to the weird magical, where the magical tribunal was happening.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've forgotten this guy's name. Alvaros? Fuck, I've forgotten. I'm sorry, guys. It's been years. It's a lot of names.
It's a lot of names. It's been years. And
I can't remember what happened last week. Oh, troll. I mean, Bar.
You called her troll. Wow.
That was not a Freudian slip. It was because I was reading. I'm very proud of you for not being a troll today, and I'm sorry your questions.
I think Carson is revealing that I'm secretly German, perhaps.
Okay, so Long Nate was asking earlier, where's Jeff Landshark? We need a Jeff Landshark Omni. And when we see DCKO and Absolute Trinity
perspective.
Oh, at the moment there's no mystery because we see them in DCKO. Afterwards, the possibilities of the Absolute Trinity is limitless post KO. Okay.
Yes, Avero Lopez. Yes, that's correct. Not aloe vera. Sorry. Alvaro Lopez was the artist on that cool tribunal arc.
So let's see.
I don't know how to answer the DCKO question.
And
I, with no disrespect to the event, I just wasn't that involved. When they told us the Absolutes were going to be involved a little bit, everyone looked with dagger eyes at the people who were saying that. And then we were all assured that everything would be fine, that it wasn't going to, mess anything up. And then I think we all just sort of went back to our business going, okay, we believe you. So I can't speak intelligently about anything there. I'm sorry. The Jeff question, at the risk of getting more riled up, I would love a Jeff Omnibus. I think that would be incredibly fun. But I do personally think, and I've talked with them a little bit about this, so I think they've got their eye on it as an issue. I hope that means we can try to solve it rather than just know it's an issue and move on. But I think the way they're doing the Jeff the printed stuff with Jeff is pretty frustrating. I think they're really burning it out. I don't know, repackaging the digital stuff in a print and adding one 4-page short. That doesn't make it a whole new thing. I just don't think that's enough. I feel like people are getting sort of rickrolled, and I don't think Marvel's trying to make people duplicate buy all this stuff. I just think they don't have a great solution yet for the best way to do this. But I do think that it's ending up being like there feels like a lot of noise, and it's hard to tell like what's new Jeff stories that are happening and what's old stuff and what's old stuff packaged with other stuff. So it's getting a little confusing, and I hope they're gonna clean it up a little bit. We'll see.
Oh, I understand what you mean, because I review Marvel books weekly, and I remember reading one of they come in digest size most of the time when it's Jeff the Landshark, and one of them had repackaged a lot of the stories I had read, because I remember reading it. I'm like, wait, I've already read this. What is this? And then they added like the Venomized story towards the end. And then they did it again this past, actually a couple of months ago. There was another Jeff the Landshark collection, which is wonderful for people that, have never read it. It's great. But it can also get confusing. But then again, single issues with variant covers confuses people too.
Yes. This is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be angry with Marvel about this.
Let's talk about my wife.
I just think
she's bought multiple copies of the same issue, and I'm like, that's not very. I was like,
it is. That's my comic book origin story. Is my brother and I both buying the new X-Men, the new Jim Lee, but we got different covers, and then me yelling at him in the car on the way home, an actual yell, not a raised voice, going, "That's my issue," and he's like, "This is what I'm reading," and that's how we found out we had bought the same book with different covers. That was our intro.
Good story.
X-Men number 1, like the Jim Lee X-Men 1.
Yeah.
Oh man, Kelly, I don't know how we're not best friends. That's an awesome origin story.
That is a great segue for Lance's question. Who was your favorite superhero growing up, and who is it today?
I think it was was Rogue for most of my life. In some ways, it's still Rogue, but more the Rogue that I identified with as a kid and less the Rogue that I've written today. I love her. I think I connected to her very powerfully at a young time in my life. And so seeing her grow up, there's part of me that always wants her atrophied. I'm actually quite proud of myself that when I wrote her, I didn't devolve her right back to being a flying brick who doesn't have any interior development. I'm proud that I saw what was right for Rogue and kept pushing forward. But I do love that bitch. Gosh, I think now, I mean, it's hard not to say Batman. I know people hate that answer, but it's true. He's pretty cool. Absolute Wonder Woman, it feels like cheating to say her, so I'll leave her to the side in that respect. Cass and Barda are going to be up there for me. Big Barda and Cass Kane.
Yes, Batgirl, best Batgirl ever. Oh god! Oh, it broke my heart. It broke my heart to see that Birds of Prey came to an end. But really you know, Kelly, you know that there are enough issues for a Birds of Prey by Kelly Thompson omnibus, though.
I would love that to get an omnibus.
You know, Kelly. Maybe not in 2026, but perhaps in 2027.
Be nice. Be nice.
I am being nice. Wait, that didn't mean to do it that time. Absolute delightful Kelly. Wow, she gets all of the good names. Okay.
It's because they're trying to be nice to me because they know I'm going to get in trouble. They know I'm going to get a phone call after this podcast goes up and spreads around in Marvel and DC. I'm going to get a couple phone calls.
No. You are protected. Everything you say
I hope you guys are prepared to support me when I'm on the street.
Well, they're ready to buy Colt too by sending you money straight to your house.
From which Wonder Woman series did you draw the most inspiration?
I think Historia ends up being the number one there, as far as how I think about it and the sort of way the mythology, I mean, that's much heavier in the mythology, obviously. I think we can only toe dip because mythology is something that can become overwhelming very quickly for people, I think. But yeah, I think Rucka, from a plotting standpoint, like I like a lot of the characters he chooses to use. Eyes of the Gorgon is one of my favorite stories.
So good.
And Hykatia as well. But Gale, I've talked a lot to people about Gale has a sort of softness and sense of humor in her Diana that I really respond to. I also think Perez, obviously, like the stories and the scope of that is pretty big. I don't think I come that close to Perez, but it's not for want of trying. So I think those are sort of the standouts. But the other thing I've talked about that really helped me when figuring out, and this is less inspirational as we go, but was more helpful to development, was the thing that I really read that helped, or reread rather, was Kingdom Come. And I had a special edition, digital edition, that had all the like scripting stuff and all the sketches and all the development. And it was just really instructive to remind me about redefining iconic characters and like, you know, what, oh, that's nice. Thank you. That means a lot. I think, you know, sorry. I think I lost it.
No, you were doing great. You were, I love all your answers for inspiration for Wonder Woman. I think you and I had talked about, I remember, I can't remember if it was the last interview or one before that, but we were talking about Wonder Woman. It was before you had started writing Absolute Wonder Woman. And I asked you, you know, what your favorite Wonder Woman run was. And I was taken back by the fact that you liked Greg Rucka so much, because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just, it not that it made you more human, but it made you like, wow, Kelly is really cool. Like she's.
Have you ever read Daniel Warren Johnson's Wonder Woman Dead Earth?
Yes, really cool. really cool. But that was sort of a problem for me though, because I was like, I can't go in this direction, you know. But that's okay. It was good. It gave me boundaries, you know. It gave me like areas where I could be like, honestly, we can't go that far anywhere. Like, this is incredibly cool, but it's like a very specific thing. We can't really push it that far, but we should push in that direction. Like, that's the kind of stuff that interests me. But like, Greg Rucka is so good with the funny thing about Greg's run, the first run is, I mean, they're both good, but the first run is my fave.
Yes.
That's particularly the stuff that I like. But I think that the funny thing is that Greg really benefited after I read Gail's run, but like the same thing didn't happen for Gail. I really love Greg's plotting and everything, but I just didn't love Diana that much yet at that point in my reading. Like, I liked her, I was into her as a superhero, but I just didn't have that thing that happens with a character where you just fall in love. And it was after I read Gail's Diana where I was like, I really like her. There's like a softness in this one and an accessibility that I hadn't really seen in the, like, you know, because his first Diana, especially, like, she's a diplomat. She's like very reserved. Like, there's a sort of sheen of like professionalism and like together, and Gail's is much more accessible and friendly and like someone who might go for coffee with you, it felt like. And so, but the weird thing was, after I read the Gale run, I was just in love with her. That was just it. I loved Diana. And so when I went back and reread Greg's books, I loved them even more. And he was benefiting all that strong stuff I'd like about the characters he chooses and the way he plots and who he brings into her fold. All of that stuff still really worked for me. But now I just also loved her so much that it made those books even better. So I'm sorry Gail didn't backwards benefit from Greg the same way Greg benefited from Gail, but it was a very weird evolution to experience Diana that way. And now that I'm writing her, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's over the moon.
The reason that I love Diana, your Diana, is because of her compassion is her strength, and how much like respect she has even for her enemies, and that she doesn't want to bring harm on people. And somebody said in the chat earlier, King of New York, was it you, saying about she's leading with love, but there's also violence, and I love violence. And that just, oh my gosh, and the way you write her dialogue, like the word choices that you make, it's just so much fun. It's so entertaining just to read her dialogue. But yeah, her character and the choices she makes. I love in the annual. I love the fact that she's trying to help Medusa.
Yeah,
because she feels empathy and compassion for her. That's such a cool story idea.
Yeah,
and so I always lead with that when I'm like pushing comics on my students. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about this. She's so strong, and well, I don't say badass. I say cool. I'm a professional in the classroom. And and I mean, look at this. She gave, I probably do spoil parts about, like, you know, she gave up her arm. Came out of hell. And look at that. She's got this ugly ass robot arm, and it's awesome. And
that's a thing, you know, they've been saying, I've been seeing a lot of this, like, if there's any criticism of Absolute Wonder Woman, it's that her world just seems normal. Her stakes don't seem so dramatic, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I really disagree with that premise. I would agree that right now fighting Zatanna, even though she's got some like things stacked against her and it's rough, and it's been rough, maybe this arc, I don't know. I would just say that maybe it's the way she responds to these things, because people are like, oh, look at Bruce's, you know, what he's fighting this week compared to what Diana. First of all, the first thing she fought was a building size thing that eats your soul.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't know. And also, before we even met her, she had to cut off her own arm. Just because she's matter of fact about it and has accepted it, and like, this is who she is now, as opposed to being like grim and dark about it. Like, I don't really think that's as much. I think it's more like the way she carries herself is making people sort of forget how fucking rough some of this stuff has been. I mean, I agree that I haven't shown the depths of how bad the hell was for them. But that kind of just feels like a lack of people's imagination to be like, oh, look, she made friends with everything, so that must have been how great it was all the time. I mean, come on, guys.
I did not get that sense reading it. Like you just said that you love how she befriended the demons and such, and let them know when they're out of line and stuff like that. Like I love that too. But I didn't get that sense. Like, yeah, hell was a hellish place. And I think there's plenty of stakes that are raised. And I mean, when she's fighting like her clone version of herself, it's great. It's great.
I wanted to add something to what Melanie said, and I think I'm sure you have heard this a lot, but I wanted to say it. Well, I thought about emailing you, but when I read Absolute Wonder Woman in the hardcover, because I was waiting for it, of course, but it took me back to being 12 years old and reading George Perez's Wonder Woman, where at that age, it hit me like, wow, this woman is so loving. This woman is so beautiful.
I want to be like her.
She's got a good mix of like,
she's a role model.
Kindness and warmth. And eventually that 12-year-old grew up and became a teenager. So I was like googly eyed at the Wonder Woman that showed up later, like Brian Boland covers, like, oh my God, it's so hot. Wow. Right. Like, that's who I became. And like, but your Wonder Woman took me back to those times when I was a little bit more innocent. And like, I don't know. I think I may have done this as I was reading going, oh, and then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? She's super hot. I mean, she's super hot. And, like, I haven't felt like that about a comic book character in a long time, Kelly.
Well, now you're older, right? Yeah,
like
you've had more life experiences.
So that's what it is.
You can't think she's hot and
go, oh.
we contain multitudes, Diana too.
That's true.
Literal sunshine. Wow.
We've got a few more super chats, and thank you so much. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing her name. Kelly, do you think Millie the Model should be added to the comics canon and be reprinted on the finest paper?
I mean, I love that I know the answer from the way you phrased this question. Yes, I do. It should be the greatest book that's ever come out. I don't know that much about Millie the Model, but I think it was cool when comics were about all sorts of genres. American comics were about all sorts of genres. Millie the Model, let her have her day, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly.
Lenny Laserdisc, thank you for the super chat. My fiance and I are a huge fan of yours. We read Absolute Wonder Woman together. We both wanted to ask if there's any more news regarding a Buffy series. Lenny Laserdisc, thank you for asking, because I forgot.
There is. I think there will be quite a bit of news this month. I don't know if it'll be this week, but soon. I mean, I was like helping rewrite press releases, so
Embargo.
There should be some. There should be some good stuff coming. That should also include the release date for Buffy. It's been a hard book to talk about. I'll give you just a little bit here. The new way I've decided to try to talk about it while hiding the mysterious interior is telling people to think of the first issues like an event book. Almost like we're starting with an event book, with something that draws the cast of Buffy and Angel together for like a very personal, emotional thing. And then we sort of spin out from there. I think Dynamite is going to let me hide this plot point right up until the end. It looks promising. Fingers crossed. I guarantee you'll enjoy it more if you experience it organically. I hope that the twist will really get people excited, and that we can get like a whole second run of people who hear about it, what's going on in the book, and like maybe want to pick it up and see what's going on. I think it's a terrible way to try to market something. I don't know what to do, but there's just no way to talk about it in concrete terms, or to talk about it at length without spoiling this entire thing it all hinges on. And it just, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying. We're doing, like, there's going to be some blind, I don't know if there'll be blind bags or like redacted out covers. There will be some things like that going on. So
oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel terrible because I'd love to be talking about this all the time, but we had some problems behind the scenes, so it took us a little longer. I would also say, in my personal opinion, they announced it too early, but whatever, I get it. Everyone has different things they're trying to meet and masters they have to serve. Sometimes shit's got to get announced, but I do think we're like on the right track now, and hopefully it will work out. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm so excited for you to be writing that.
I'll be picking up the single issues.
That's okay. So I just want to thank you again for your time, because you are a busy lady. Like, to be doing all of these things that you're currently working on, and to give us a little bit of time with you is just thank you.
Thank you. Well,
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying thank you.
I'm asking and not assuming and mind reading.
Okay.
J. Michael White, thank you for the super chat. How did you decide to give Absolute Wonder Woman a hell-related origin?
It mostly came from when I was really up against the wall, when I was about to call Scott and tell him I couldn't figure it out. Because everything I tried wasn't working, I was like, I had this brainstorming. I had my Moleskine out and I was brainstorming on it. And I think I put something about that someone else should raise her, that she shouldn't have her community and her heritage available to her, that we have to take the Amazons away from her. And if we do that, then where would Greek gods put her? I'm like, well, they would put her in the underworld. Like, I don't know where else that's the obvious place to stash her, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I'm like, okay, well, so now she's in hell. What? She's just like not being like, she's a little baby just surviving on her own. Like, what are we going to do? And that was how I ended up with an enemy, a traditional enemy should raise her. That will give us a great way to like show how transformative her love is, that it can work on this character. And it was an easy jump there to Circe. And then with Circe, we got, well, she should just be a witch. She should be completely like trained by Circe. This will open up this whole bag of magic tricks for her. And then it also, like literal magic tricks and also thematic magic tricks, but it also does something that I think the main prime versions of the Trinity struggle with a little bit, which is distinction between Diana and Clark. And this really divides them quite nicely and gives more separation to his sort of cool sci-fi stuff and her sort of fantasy magic stuff. I still like her to be a little bit sci-fi because I love sci-fi, but you know, what are you going to do? I think it's a good thing for the characters for them to have those separate lanes to play in. And not to mention it, talking about keeping fights creative, like, man, it's been so fun to get to play with her approaching fights and how to deal with antagonists differently. It's been really fun.
Well, John asked earlier about fight scenes. How comfortable are you with letting the artist take the lead in those moments? And I'm glad this question brings in Hayden Sherman because
their art is amazing.
Whoa, like yes, I want to talk about Hayden Sherman too.
And it's so unfair how young they are.
They're so insanely talented.
How old are they?
I'm sure
a lot younger than I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure in a couple years, my old ass will be just begging Hayden to take me with them on some of their projects. They're incredible. I think the answer to the question is it completely depends on the relationship with the artist. If it's artists I've worked with a lot before, like Hayden and Mattia and Meredith, like there's a lot more freedom. I tend to write tight scripts, but I do think that some of writing a tight script is me just trying to make sure I'm doing my job. Like, I don't want you to have a lot of questions when you're done reading. Like, it doesn't mean you have to do what I said, but I don't want you to be like, well, I don't know what she means by this. Like, so I try to really put it on the page. I write a lot of like where the character is emotionally. That's always really important to me. I think with some artists that doesn't matter so much. With other artists it's huge, and you can get like micro expressions that are really powerful and everything just from artists really understanding where your character is in that moment. Like, you know, like she's looking at this like she wants to go but she knows she can't. That's a different look than, you know, Diana looks to the right. Like there's a specificity in that I think helps. Again,
Totally
not every artist can tailor to that level, but it never hurts to have that there. I mean, maybe artists would disagree, but I also think that I try, and it doesn't always work. There are failures here, but in general, I'm pretty successful of building good relationships with my artists where I feel like they know they can deviate from what's on the script. Like I'm always open to that. If you have a better idea, if you think this doesn't work, if we need to talk this out, I'm always open to that. I think they asked before, someone asked about Hayden's layouts and if I'm involved in that. And it's like, how could I be involved in that? That is coming from a genius mind. Like,
I was just about to ask that. I love the paneling.
The paneling is incredible. I think it's generational stuff. I think we're going to see a lot more people doing this kind of thing, which I'm very excited about because it's pretty funny that Hayden and I ended up partnered on this book because historically, I do not like weird panels, but that's because I'm traumatized from the 90s where we broke panels all the time. We do weird panels. Panels are sliding around, and I got no problem with breaking the form and playing with it, but to just do it arbitrarily for no reason, like, oh, this is going to look cool, so his foot breaks the panel here. No, everything should have intention. So to me, Hayden is playing a completely different game, like a game I was barely even familiar with, where the panels are telling their own story frequently. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught it, but make sure to zoom all the way out or hold the book away from you if you're reading in person for the last issue, because on the Zatanna page, the panels make a Z. Are you kidding me?
What?
It's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
I did not.
It's this whole other element of the book that I just have nothing to do with, and it's so incredibly cool. I knew from
recognition earned.
I knew from issue 1 that Hayden was gonna do this and blow our minds because they were already doing it in issue 1. But I think it was in issue 5 where they convinced me that it's worth it even when the reading order isn't great. Because I don't like using the word Nazi these days, but I'm a big Nazi about the reading order on the page. I don't like it if it's confusing. I don't want people to question it. I don't want it at all, honestly. Like, even if people are like, yeah, I think you go. I'm like, I don't want to hear think. I just want them to know. If they're having to pause and not know where to go, it's not worth it to me. But there's an asterisk by that, which is if what you're doing is really powerful and worth it, I don't mind so much if there's hesitation or a little bit of confusion or the dreaded arrow, which we haven't had to do, but sometimes does. The good news is Hayden is such, like, there's a double page spread coming up in 19 that is so freaking cool in the way it leads you through the page. And yes, I think probably here and there with people, there's like some clarity, like issues like they don't know, but to me I'd say it's worth it. And it was in issue 5, that scene where Steve is trying to talk Diana down from being Medusa, and it's a double page spread, and the reading order is not perfect. It's not exactly the way you want it, but the page is so worth it. Like, it's one of those things where a thing that you've always believed about an art form that you're about as expert in as you can get to anything in my life. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? That changes my mind about it. If there's this much payoff for what we're doing with this page, then I don't mind a little lack of clarity on, is this the exact right way to do it? Like, let's make it more of a discovery because the reward is worth it. The reward is not worth it when it's like, here's this amazing foot coming out of a panel for no reason, and you know, who cares? Like I don't like the chaos of that.
One night I tried searching for any type of like Pegasus, like plushie on Etsy, because I love Pegasus so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that on my desk. Or figurine, I couldn't really find anything, so maybe I'll try again in 6 months. But oh my gosh, I love Pegasus. Sorry, this is random.
He's got to be in a DC Rivals game. That's when you start getting the.
Oh, that's true. I love how Diana talks to her sword. I love because I named one of my weapons Big Barda.
That's a perfect name.
I take martial arts and we get to pick our weapons and I get really excited and it was a hammer on a big long pole and I was like, this is my Big Barda. So,
do you own or do you have a favorite page that Hayden did and you're like, oh my gosh, this embodies everything that I think about?
Oh, that's a good question.
Wonder Woman, absolute Wonder Woman.
I think there are a lot of pages. I think that one of my favorite pages, this is a cheat, so I'll not cheat after this, but one of my favorite pages is the reveal with the trident. And to me, part of the reason that at the end of 11, and part of the reason that I love it is because it's just a great moment. I know it's like Ara farming, style, but it's just a great moment that feels very quintessentially Diana. Like it's a threat, but it's like a soft threat, and she's got this incredible trident. But the other reason I really like it is just because it's such a great example of the team like working together. When Hayden drew that page, I was like, it's incredible. I love it so much. And I was excited to see what Jordi was going to do with it. I had no idea she was going to do that with it. The reflections of the water on everything. It was just a truly like a transformative moment. But I think, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I was really in on Hayden. As soon as we started working, I could see like there was a thing that was happening very early on. For example, the end of the first arc, that was not the original plan for her to use sacrifice to turn into Medusa. That was not the original plan. And the reason we ended up there is because I decided once we were playing with the magic and the story and everything, I was like, wait a minute, this sword is already huge, but if she can make it larger, she would do that. We have to do that. Like, why wouldn't she make this huge? So then in issue 4, these pages come in from Hayden, this incredible building size sword and cutting a third of the tetraside off on the page in this double page spread. It was incredible. And I was like, well, now we need a bigger ending. Like, how are we going to go bigger than that? And like, there's a moment of panic, but Wonder Woman, more than anything I've ever done, has, and hopefully it's also, the culmination of getting better as a writer over 12 years plus or whatever. But I just wasn't that afraid. I just felt like, oh, really, Hayden? How about this? Like, it almost felt like a fun, like we were challenging each other to get to the next thing. And I think that's one of the best things that can happen to a creative team is when you're sort of charging each other up like that,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a really good point. Bar's asking, I've seen many writers say they struggle with writing Wonder Woman. Why do you think you didn't have that struggle?
I could have said a lot of things right there, and I chose to be quiet and not say them. I'm going to say, I think that historically she seemed too perfect, too pristine, too politically correct. Like it feels like she's got a lot of boundaries on her of what she can do or can't do. And then she does have some, just by being the nature of a woman, because let's not pretend these are the same things and these get treated the same in comics or outside of them. Like they're just different. So she already comes to the table with some baggage that's tricky. And then I'm worried to say shots fired at the Batwoman cover. I don't know what this means. I haven't seen whatever you're talking about, guys.
We were talking about last week the boot cover.
Oh, from Greg Rucka's run with J.H. Williams.
Where
they had
half the page is the bottom of her boot.
The original printing, DC decided of all the pictures that J.H. Williams did to use this as the cover. And
strange choice.
I think everybody
maybe he was experimenting with composition.
But the new printing will have a beautiful JH representation of what the internal artwork looks like.
Yeah.
Things have as things have changed in the collected editions department at DC. They are night and day, like since October of 2024. right around the time things were going with the absolute format, like that's when things started changing for the better. And now they're listening to fans. Now they're because they're fans themselves, and it helps.
Well, that's good news. I have to say, I sort of am unaware of that, because in large part because like the Birds of Prey volumes were obviously getting collected, but like nobody was fucking asking anything about them to me. So I didn't know if that was just because the Absolutes had a lot of eyes on them, and so that's why we were getting sort of consulted and everything. But it sounds like maybe there was just a sea change over there, which is good.
Yeah.
If it's better and it's creating better volumes, great.
I guarantee whatever they do with the Birds of Prey, hypothetically speaking, if there was an omnibus to be coming in, hypothetically speaking, the year 2027, I bet you will be heavily involved, because this new team loves to have introductions and forwards and essays. Like, it's amazing to see some of these collected. This is the way that I have dreamed of collected editions being done right. Having the creators involved, not only with just the forward, but like taking the time, like Gail did the Birds of Prey, her Birds of Prey. And in the back, there's like almost like an essay breakdown about like the issues and the things like that, where she got some of the ideas. I bet, they would heavily involve you if you have the time, of course.
I mean, I would make time for something like that.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. That's wonderful.
For sure.
And you're getting a lot of love in the chat just now.
I mean, everyone's being so nice. Should come here every day. So,
totally good. We can talk about X-Men. You don't need to write comics. We can talk about X-Men all day. And what your favorite issue of X Factor was?
It was probably that 87.
87 was brilliant. That's a good choice.
I mean, I love that issue so much. I think, like, there's a movie you really liked, and then there's a movie that left an indelible impression on you and you'll never forget it. And like, those are different things, And
like Transformers the movie. Oh,
like what?
I said Transformers the movie, and you went with X Factor.
No, I was just saying X Factor 87 was
yeah
for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, X-Men 1 was as well, but like for different reasons. I'm not shitting on it. I love it, but I don't think it's not as insightful as something like X Factor 87. It's doing something completely different. It's a kickoff of a new issue of a new team and a whole new era, right? It has different goals, but so they're indelible for different reasons, I guess.
But and that stayed with you, right? Like the panels will stay with you. The even some of the narration will stay with you. Imagine now your first comic book, your first taste of comics is Absolute Wonder Woman. You are having that same effect on a whole generation of people, and not just young people, but also like older people. That there was somebody in the comments that said they only read manga and they're reading Absolute Wonder Woman now. Imagine that is your first comic, and that's how people feel about you, the way you feel about X Factor 87 and X-Men 1.
And it's awesome. To see kids in comic shops again because of the Absolute line.
Hell yes. That's what I love about it.
That's great.
I have a handful of students who know the Absolute line. Yeah. So
I mean, I have to tell you, like, anytime you're involved in any kind of new number one, especially if it's any kind of event or line or anything, there's always a lot of talk about, we'd love to get new readers. We'd love to excite old readers and get them back and bring in some new readers. Like, that's always something they're talking about. It's a huge problem for them at any company, I would say, even though my experiences have been, those kind of conversations primarily have happened at Marvel and DC, but it happens everywhere. It's the common problem we all share. I've never been a part of something that feels like it actually worked the way this did, as far as getting new readers, getting people into shops, people all over the internet going, it's my first time reading a comic, or I haven't read a comic in 20 years, or this is amazing because I can jump right into this. I mean, I know the further along we get, the harder that part of the sentence comes. I can jump right into this because there's no history. Now it's like, no, you got to read 3 volumes first, but it's still great. It's really wonderful to be a part of that, especially when you've spent your whole life, both as a fan and then as a creator, trying to figure that out, trying to figure out that thing. And I think we do have to take a time out here and really give Scott credit. I mean, he helmed this whole thing. I can't even, like, you guys can tell me all day long that you love the book, and I'm very grateful for it, and it was hard work and I love it, but I know how to do that. I don't know how to do what Scott has managed to do with like overseeing the line and like leading everyone to sort of the promised land a little bit. Like, I think it's really impressive. And it's also really, like, I'm not saying he doesn't benefit immensely from it. He does. We all do when something is popular, but there's also a lot of, I don't know, sacrifice isn't the right word, but like, I genuinely believe he's trying to do a good thing for the industry, for his fellow creators, for the fans. Like, let's make books that excite people and that, you know, can give people something to do. So, yeah.
I don't know if they share numbers with you, but they shared when I was at the DC offices this past March or February, whenever I went for Comics Pro.
February.
And I got to hang out with the collected editions team, and they told me the numbers of the absolute line for the hardcover and the trade paperbacks. Which I'm not, you know, I can't share, but I haven't seen numbers like that since I've come back to reading comics, including things like Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men, including things like Grant Morrison's new X-Men. I mean, I haven't seen numbers like that since the 90s. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit of the numbers. They even with us, they don't really get specific for the most part. Occasionally they'll narrow it down. Like for issue 1, when we were really talking about that, but like now that we're at the 8th printing, I have no idea what they're at now. But even I saw Scott talking about something on Twitter or Blue Sky the other day. About sales numbers, and I don't think Absolute Wonder Woman isn't doing those numbers, but Absolute Wonder Woman is the first book where my bank account can tell we're writing a different book. Let's put it that way. I mean, there's always some royalties, but they're usually like, hey, maybe I can use this to help, you know, pay off this little thing, or, you know, whatever. They're not of a level that your bank account goes, oh, are you doing something new? And you're like, yeah, it's finally working. This thing is finally working.
I guess then that means there'd be a good chance of getting a deluxe edition of Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, I don't know the rules. I'm pretty new to DC as far as collections go because I haven't been there that long, and it takes a while to start the collections going. I'd assume there are big plans for whatever.
And little plans with the compacts.
Yeah, maybe compacts. Maybe they'll skip straight to Omnibus. I don't know. I'm sure they've got some.
Oh no, the way these books are selling, Kelly, you're gonna see deluxe editions. You're gonna see absolute editions.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna see an Omnibus, and people are gonna buy it all. And we're living in some great times for this. Oh, your Black Widow. Oh my gosh, that needs to be in a hardcover.
That one, I would put that. I mean, I don't want to push Hawkeye further down the list because I already said the Rogue and Gambit thing, but I do have to say, I think Elena's work would really shine in the oversized Omnibus. I mean, those double page spreads.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, get it.
It would look so great. So, and also 15, that's pretty good for an Omnibus, right?
We can make it happen. We've had 12 issues, 11 issues if you're Jonathan Hickman.
I mean, my fear is I don't want them to try to jam a lot of other Black Widow for everyone's sake. I mean, I guess everyone benefits if you put them in there, but I don't know. I like the clarity of vision of it just being like Kelly Thompson and Elena Casagrande's Black Widow, like, and not being other stuff just to make it large enough. But I don't know. It would look so great in that oversize.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm sure, I can't remember if we've talked about it, but, you know, they put out that paperback edition, which is a little oversized, right? Is that oversized?
It's all 15 issues in there.
Okay, yeah. So, but they put that J. Scott Campbell thing on the cover, which
dude, same.
Listen, I don't care whether you like Scott or you don't like Scott's work. It just is not representative of what's inside. I don't understand why.
This lady gets it. This lady gets it.
Well, Jacobot's asking for any more suggestions that he enjoyed Black Widow and Absolute Wonder Woman. Earlier, Reaper and Bar talked about the Cole, really enjoying the Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And And then you just said Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's excellent. She also did. I'm saying she like she's not here. Kelly Thompson also did this series that was just now recently reprinted, but it's in digest size if you don't mind the size, of Jessica Jones, which is excellent. Both of them are in that little collection.
But that's a great example, is them collecting those Jessica Jones and putting them out when she's showing up in the show. Like, let's get that for the Rogue and Gambit thing. Okay,
yeah, I will clip that and send it to my contacts at Marvel.
Don't you dare!
I just talk. I represent. I'll word it like this. I represent Kelly Thompson, and she says that get off your ass and make these. And I will put down the list from your most wanted to your least wanted of Kelly Thompson Omnis. I will not get you in trouble. You know, Marvel Universe by Kelly Thompson also has a ring to it. Just saying. That way you can have the Jessica Jones and Black Widow and Jeff the Landshark all in one omnibus. See? I'm a man of many ideas, but
would you be down to write an Absolute Satana limited series?
I definitely am. I think it's a problem, maybe. Nobody's told me this for sure, but I think maybe I can't get probably a second book. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's only a few books from the Absolute line. I know how happy people are with Wonder Woman, and so that gives me confidence that maybe they'd let me do another book. But is it even almost too selfish to be like, yeah, I'll do 2 Absolute, but like, I just don't even know if they'd go for it. I was talking to a creator. We were talking about trying to pitch one together, and I was like, if we can come up with a dynamite can't miss idea, like maybe then they'll be like, well, we'll let Kelly do it, even though it's going to make people mad. But I was like, I got to be honest, I feel like the dynamite can't miss idea that DC would be into, and maybe Scott and the Absolute people would be into, it maybe wouldn't be what we'd be into wanting to do. So I don't know. We'll see. There's some talk about it. I wouldn't want, let me put it this way. I wouldn't, if they want to do a Zatanna mini, but they're hesitant about giving any creators 2 projects within the Absolute line, I would hope they would just go on without me. But yes, I would love to do it. For sure.
Is there any chance we might see your take on John? How do you pronounce it?
Constantine. Or Constantine.
In the Absolute universe, given your exceptional work on other queer characters in Wonder Woman.
I do say it wrong, but I would.
How do you say it, Kelly?
I say Constantine.
Clip
I know.
That,
I know. Oh no.
I say Constantine. Look, we live in America, okay? It's Constantine. Although I get yelled at by my British viewers that it's Constantine, but
I mean, anyway.
When in Rome, right?
I think the honest answer to John is that I'm a very big fan, and I maybe don't have the right idea for him. Like, I almost think John is so cool. I like him so much the way he is. Maybe you would just bring him into Absolute just normally, like unlike everyone else, he would just be regular stupid John Constantine in his jacket with his trench coat and his bad habits and his questionable relationships and his badassery.
He's so awesome.
I
love that character.
I love him too. I really do. I mean, as if you couldn't tell by my sneaking him into Birds of Prey every chance I get. I think he's a great character. I think certainly the stage is set with Zatara on the board, Magic becoming more to the forefront, and Zatanna on the board too. Like, that could happen. But I guess I just feel like John really deserves like a super thoughtful rethink about what he should be in the Absolute line. And I just personally haven't had time to like really put that brain power to work. Someone else might have a great idea, but I think it's got to be a pretty big swing. Because how are you gonna?
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Before you even finish that sentence, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's the same reason. As much as I'd love to bring a Cass Kane in, I think she's a really hard lift. How do you tweak that? How do you change that? Like, Cass Kane has, to me, one of the best origin stories and books that it just knew what it was. It was completely clear in its directives from the jump, and things got messy down the line, but initially it was very clear, and she had an incredibly cool origin that really worked. And I think it's tricky to tweak that when it's already so good, and I feel the same way about John. You need to really think it through, I think. And so there are some characters that even though they'd be my favorites to tackle, I have some hesitancy as a result. But we'll see. I think there's a lot of cool people with better ideas than me pulling in the Absolute Universe, so I'm sure we'll get there.
Can you tell us a book or story more people should read?
Yes. I can tell you lots of them. Let's think. Oh, one that people should read, because he's got a new book coming out soon, I think, that they announced, and now I've forgotten the name of it. Oh my God. But the old book is Chroma. Came out from Skybound. It's by the guy who draws or was drawing, I'm not sure if he's still on it now. Oh my God. The first of the Energon titles.
Jorge Corona or
no?
No. De Felicio. What's his fucking name? Lorenzo De Felicio. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. He was doing it with Kirkman. The first thing that came out when we didn't even know it was Transformers yet.
Void Rivals.
Void Rivals. That. Okay. So he was drawing that initially, but he also did. There we go. Tom got it.
Yeah, we got you.
And then, so they, Chroma, yes, that's the first book. There's a new book that's just announced, but Chroma is incredible. It's written and drawn by the artist that does Void Rivals, and it's really good. It's really smart. It's interesting. It's cool. A book I loved that's way outside the mainstream. This is not for you superhero lovers out there. It's called, now I'm going to butcher this. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. All Princesses Die Before Dawn. This is a guy I do not know, French, I believe, Quentin Zutien. Really, you can read it in just one sitting. It was nominated for an Eisner. I think it's absolutely beautiful and poignant and terrific. What else should people read?
Princess Diana?
It's not about Princess Diana, but it has a little bit of a tie to that, to the idea of Princess Diana.
Okay.
And of other fairy tale princesses. It's sort of about a young kid, like, figuring out their sexuality and stuff. It's really beautifully done. It sort of feels like an age appropriate, like, Call Me by Your Name, like in the French countryside of just living your life and figuring out who you are amongst.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like something I would like.
It's quite beautiful. I loved it. But I think that, what else? I'm still loving Tinian's Corpse. I'm sorry, my brain is fried.
Something's Killing the Children, or the...
No. Well, I love Something is Killing the Children. It's still good, although I'm a few issues behind. I'm also still loving the House by the Sea stuff. Yeah. I'm behind on World Tree, but that's great as well. I mean, everything he's doing is good. No, he's got the Exquisite Corpse is the new one.
Right.
He's doing with Michael Walsh.
Yeah.
Also, my friend Matt Rosenberg is still doing his What's the Furthest Place from Here, and he's got a new one coming out called If Destruction Be Our Lot.
Yeah, I just had him on, and he spoke so highly of you.
Oh, that's nice.
And seriously, when and thank you, because I think he reached out to you about having... He was
looking for places to go, and you were one of a few I recommended.
Oh, thank you. That was really sweet of you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know if you got to read If Destruction Be Our Lot, but it's really interesting.
I read the first issue.
Yeah,
I think you would like it. It's the robot Abraham Lincoln.
But isn't it just...
No, I don't want to spoil what happens. It's, but I think that's the pitch for you.
That's the pitch for me.
I don't have any idea where it's going, and I love that. And it doesn't feel like anything else out on stands, you know, and I love that about it too.
It's him and his brother, right, that are working on it together.
Yes, it is. And is it Andy McDonald is the artist? I'm sorry, I've got so many artists and writers in my head now. It's like I've fucking cavalcade in there.
I don't understand how you keep it all together. Not your life. I mean, like how you keep everything together, because not only are you writing, but then your brain is now starting to use other parts, right? That's like, wait, I read that. What is that? Who's the artist on that? And then people are like, what do you recommend to read? And you're like, Green Eggs and Ham.
It's about,
you know what I'm saying? Wow, it's very impressive. You got it all together.
Thank you for those recommendations. And Common Sense, thank you for the super chat. And Absolute Wonder Woman, Barbara Minerva is Greek archaeologist, just like in Rebirth, which is from Julia Kapatelis.
Yep.
Will Barbara be absolute Silver Swan or at all?
I'm definitely not going to answer this question. Come on, Common Sense. What are we doing here? But I will say that Kapatelis is going to make an appearance in issue 21.
Okay.
It's not going to be a Silver Swan, but yeah, I mean, we're just definitely trying to get stuff on board that'll excite you guys. Silver Swan is a very interesting character to me. I think the visual on Silver Swan sort of can't be beat, but I don't always love how the Silver Swan stories resolve. So I'm just looking at that and like, if we can do that in a way that I think will be interesting for this Wonder Woman. Barbara, a lot is going to happen to Barbara over the next, let's see, let me count the issues. 9 issues. A lot's going to happen. It's not Silver Swan, but it's definitely some things.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Swan. I'm just a man of ideas, Kelly.
Thank you for the super chat. Why don't you put Squirrel Girl in Jeff Comics? And later,
she has been in some Jeff Comics.
Oh, look at that.
So I don't know if we've outed you as a fake fan. No, I'm just kidding. She's
not yelling. She's not yelling. She's just German.
Yeah, I'm just German. She did appear, but only in like 2 issues and only for a little bit, I think. I think it was season 2. It's the one where Jeff goes into the pet store and then calls all the pet friends to help. And then at the very end, Squirrel Girl's in it. I do like Squirrel Girl. She's a good fit. A little bit the problem with her, quite frankly, is that Jeff knows too many white girls already. There's a lot of white girls in his life, and like, we don't really need more. We need a little more urban diversity in the world that Jeff is from, which is New York City, which is an incredibly diverse place. So, you know, when Gwen, Kate, Elsa, and White Queen are like some of your favorite ladies you want to hang out with, it's getting pretty white in here. I don't like it. So that prevents Squirrel Girl a little bit from getting more play. But that's a shame, because she would be a good fit.
I love that that's a problem for Jeff the Landshark. There's too many white girls.
No, it's a problem for me, for Jeff the Landshark.
I just can't imagine Jeff's inner monologue going, all right, I'm hanging out with too many white chicks. Okay, that legit made me laugh. Thank you, Kelly.
What do you think, looking back on your West Coast Avengers run?
Jeff. Oh, sorry.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, Jeff is certainly, to me, a lot of the West Coast Avengers run is a really fun idea cut too short. And once it had its legs cut out from under it, which happened at basically issue 5, the writing was on the wall. I'm pretty frustrated. You know, we lost our artist. I knew we probably weren't going to be able to keep Stefano Caselli for a long run, but once we realized we were going to be canceled when he was on the off issues, like, they quickly reassigned him. And listen, Daniele Di Niccolo came in and did an incredible arc for us, 3 issues, and that's where we get Jeff from. So it's hard to be mad, but you know, the arc really sort of collapsed after that. I don't pin the blame on any one person, but it just happens sometimes. Your artists get torn away from you, and then you find out you've only got so much room to shut things down, so then stories become compressed, and you know, it's just not ideal.
Here's another question from Common Sense. Thank you for the super chat. I enjoy your Phasma comic. When you made the story, you wrote how you want or have to stay contacted by a Lucasfilm story group?
Oh, do they have any input, like when writing your script and story for Phasma?
Yeah, they do. It's so funny. I just did a podcast yesterday about the Phasma comic, which I was excited to get asked to do because really nobody asked me about the Phasma comic ever, and I really had a good time doing it, so I was excited. So mostly I would say to Common Sense, if you're really interested in this, keep your eyes open. I'll be sharing a link for like a thing that's all about this, and you can learn all about it. But the very short version is yes, especially because that book was a tie-in between two movies. So I'm tying between a movie I've seen and a movie I haven't seen. Yes, there's a lot of communication about what you can do and what you can't do and how far you can go. I will say, other than the initial restrictions I was given, which were pretty tough, they were pretty open after that. Like once we locked in on what the story would be, and I like moved it so it was sort of off the playing field a little bit so that we could do our own thing over on the side here, they were pretty great about it. It was a great experience.
I have a quick question before we start wrapping up, because oh my gosh, you are so just kind with your time. Do you ever feel, and I think I've asked you this before, but now, it's been a couple of years since I've asked you this. Do you ever feel like you are, I'm not even sure what the proper word is, that you're writing a lot of leading ladies, a lot of women in comics, a lot of female characters. Do you feel like they don't ask if you want to write like male characters anymore? Or
yes.
Because okay.
Yes, I'm 100% pigeonholed. 100%, but it's hard to blame anyone for that because
You're just so damn good at it, though.
Thank you. I think a lot of the problem is my own problem. Like, I feel like this didn't happen very often in my career, or it hasn't yet. But like, I feel like if Marvel or DC like spread out some cards that had like their most famous male characters, and then they also had some female characters in there, I would probably pick the female characters. I just really like them. I gravitate toward them. I will also say that I've learned a little bit the hard way that sometimes you can do a lot more with characters that people don't have their eyes on as much. But it's incredibly difficult to, get the momentum going and create a thing that becomes a popular thing that you can do for a long time. I mean, if I thought I could get an Elsa Bloodstone series off the ground for more than 5 issues, like, I'd do it. It just,
God bless you.
It's
awesome.
It's hard. It's really hard in this market.
Yeah.
And I think that's, but
it's a boy shark. Okay, true.
I think that DEADPOOL is really the only time I've been given a male character that. But again, I think it's as much my fault as anyone else's. So.
Yeah, the reason I asked that, I had talked to Christopher Priest a couple of years ago, and he was experiencing that problem in the 80s. He was like, I want to write white characters too. I just don't want to write Black Panther or Black Lightning.
Yeah.
There are other characters I would love to write. And I was curious, like, would you ever see yourself doing a story like Wolverine or Superman?
I'd love to. But I think just to go to the thing with the diversity, you're always going to have we're always going to have problems with that as fans, as creators, as publishers. Until the rooms become more naturally diverse, you're always going to have a problem there. I mean, I was at one of those summit rooms where we deliberately weren't talking about a character of color, and the reason she wasn't getting talked about was because everyone was trying really hard to be respectful and not be like, oh, I as a white person know how to do this character of color story. But by not having enough diversity in the room, and I said this, and I'm sort of surprised I didn't get fired right then, but I straight up said in the room, I was like, I think we got a problem here because we're not talking about this character because we're trying to be sensitive about the diversity issue. But the person that you want to be in the room to talk about that character isn't here. And so now the character isn't getting discussed at all. And that's how this happens. That's how these characters aren't able to like level up. And I think there was a real acknowledgement that was true, but it's not like anything changed. I mean, I think people agreed with me that it was sort of an issue, but did anything change? I don't think so. So we're going to continue to have that problem where people feel pigeonholed, and where it's like, well, we've only got so many Black writers, so we definitely want them to be giving voice to Black Panther and, whatever the races and the mixes are, they want to put those people on them because those feel like more authentic stories, but then it does pigeonhole those people. So until there's more organic diversity just naturally in the rooms, it's going to continue to be a little bit of a problem that just doesn't have a great solution. I would say that most of the time, most people are trying their best and trying to do the right thing. That's been my experience with comics. People in front of the camera and behind the camera, it's mostly people trying to write great stories and do the right thing and not get fired and not lose any money. And they're trying, but it doesn't mean there are easy answers or that it always works out the way they intend. And, you just got to keep pushing.
And, oh, man. See, now I want to see Black Panther by Kelly Thompson.
I am definitely not qualified to write that. I mean, I like Black Panther, but I have no great insight. I have no great insight into Black Panther, and I'm also real dumb when it comes with tech. It's one of the reasons I haven't written a lot more Tony. Like, I like Tony's voice. He's really fun, but I just feel like I don't have, I'm not saying I can't do it, but it's an inorganic fit, and I have to really stretch and work on it to get to the point where I feel like I'm making super creative choices with tech. Like, I just feel like it's not necessarily already there in my skill set. Doesn't mean I can't do it. Doesn't mean I'm not interested in it, but it's an additional challenge I think about before I take down a project. One of the reasons you don't ever see speedsters on any of my teams is because I find that a particularly difficult thing to wrap my head around. What do the fights look like? How is your life like? I mean, maybe it's trauma. Maybe it's trauma from X Factor 87.
87. I love that you brought it back. Do you think, and this will be my last question as we wrap up, because, okay. But do you like to write things that you know about, or do you like to write things that you have to research a lot before writing?
I think there are two different things. I do a lot of research, but within a comics context, that research mostly comes from knowing what these other stories are, knowing what these voices are, knowing where this character has been before, so that I can make a decision based on, like, that I can make good choices based on having a confident, broad base. So now you're talking about, I'm also going to write Iron Man, and I want it to be a great Iron Man. So it turns out I need to learn a lot about nanotech, and now I'm like, fuck, nanotech, what? Like, I mean, I know what nanotech is. I saw Big Hero 6. It was great. That's, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a dummy. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not an astronaut. I'm a fucking writer. So, if I want it to feel right and feel authentic, I have to dig in. And that's an additional challenge if you're taking on Aquaman that I don't have. For example, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, Absolute Wonder Woman. I love Greek mythology. I have loved Greek mythology since I was in about 6th grade. Maybe, no, less than that. 5th grade? I don't know. Forever. So I come with that knowledge. I come with an interest in that. I'm also interested in magic, not like I'm a Wiccan, but I'm interested in that in my stories. I've written a lot of that. I've read a lot about that. So there are these overlapping things. And then that means that while I'm doing the research for Wonder Woman specific, I don't have to also do the research about Greek gods and magic, because that's already built in. And so that comes into play a little bit when thinking about projects. I don't want to stay all in the same pool, but I do have to think about the outlie, of energy, of research, of time.
Yeah.
So Ryan North is a prime example. Like, he is writing Fantastic Four, and he is like a scientist and physicist, and I'm like,
he's like 50 bazillion times smarter than me.
We were talking, I think it was yesterday, we were talking about, Ryan North, his run on Fantastic Four got voted to be in the Omnibus. But I was like, at some point, I don't have the time to go and do research. Like, I just assume everything Ryan North is selling me is actual science. So sure, I'm along for the ride.
It's fiction.
Well, yeah, but he actually adds a lot of real science into his stories. I just don't have, my brain doesn't work like that. Lie to me, Kelly, is the way my brain works, right?
Or tell you the truth, but just know that you're not going to search it out. Right?
Exactly. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yes, I'm that kind of reader.
Thompson, thank you for. Oh no, go ahead.
I feel like I'm a similar kind of reader, and one of the reasons I know that is I would apply this more to movies. Is that one of the movies genres I have the hardest time with is historical fiction, and I can really enjoy historical fiction, but then I'm like, but wait, did this happen? Like, what was the thing this happened? And then I end up on fucking Wikipedia finding out what the real story is. So I get that. I can hear that. But I guess with like hard sci-fi stuff like that, like real science stuff, like what Ryan is doing and running laps around us on. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that because every writer is familiar with this, I'm sure he could be nitpicked apart by some fucking scientist, whatever. You didn't get this right, Ryan, whatever.
Those guys are the worst scientists.
Yeah, there's always going to be, no matter how much. I mean, listen, I know a lot about Greek mythology, and if you go on Twitter right now, you can find a guy yelling about how I don't know shit about Greek mythology because either A, we disagree about what a Wonder Woman story is supposed to be, or B, he would be mad no matter what I did. So, you just sort of can't win there. But I think Ryan is helping us all by being so smart, though. Like,
well, I believe
we can get a little smarter just by. Thank you. I mean, all of our Greek mythology stuff we use is all based in the history, but mythology, it's incredibly complicated. A lot of it contradicts each other. Like there's a thing coming up soon in Absolute Wonder Woman with Scylla, which is a creature that dwells in the underworld. But like in some versions of mythology, Scylla and Circe have like an incredibly horrible, dramatic relationship. And in others, they don't have anything to do with each other. So it's hard to... You just have to make choices, and you have to understand at the end that what I'm doing is not telling accurate Greek mythology stories. I'm telling the story of Diana, Wonder Woman, and here is how she connects with the mythology of her world. And that's as far as you can take it. Anything else would be madness, in my opinion. Obviously,
So we've got now we have 2 super chats from Common Sense. So thank you. The first one, I admit I haven't read much of Captain Marvel. I do recall you made Hazmat into Carol's sidekick. You want to do more for her? You and McKay use Hazmat.
Yeah, I was really excited that Jed was keeping Hazmat around in the book. We talked about it just a little bit. But I love Hazmat. I think she's great. One of my favorite things we were able to do with her is the stuff with the Brood arc at the end and like getting her and Rogue on the same page together. Like that was really important to me to put Rogue and Hazmat in the same room together and let them have a conversation because they have such similar traumas and power sets. So. Yes, I also dread future discussions about Nolan.
I love that you saw that because God. Everybody's an expert on the internet when it comes to these things.
The other thing about mythology in Absolute Wonder Woman, I would say, and I hope it's one of the reasons we seem to have been a little more successful. And like, let's not ignore the fact that part of the reason we're successful is because the book has a #1 on it, and so they have a reasonable expectation that they don't have to know anything else when they start reading, right? So they're less likely to get afraid when they hear the name Circe and they don't know what that means or know how to pronounce it because they're like, well, I'm in issue 1. Surely they'll explain it, And so we try to feed it to them, the bits that they need to know. But I do think that historically for me, the Greek mythology has been almost as much blessing as curse when I try to read Absolute Wonder Woman, because I think people who are into Greek mythology, it can be very easy to tip over so that now you're just vomiting Greek mythology over everyone. And it sounds, I mean, to people who don't know that stuff, it can sound as weird as someone all of a sudden like explaining hard science to you. And you're like, I have no context for this anymore. It doesn't. So I was very careful about where do we feel like the normal person is like, wait a minute, what? Like, all right, you said there was a 3-headed dog, fine, but there's also a this, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep it a little bit within reason for people to, they're here for a Diana story. They want it to be rich and layered, but they don't want you taking them down a whole other path that is complicated and maybe they're not interested in. So it's a real finesse thing, I think, to get it right.
That's a good point. And thank you again, Common Sense, for the super chat. In latest lore, you have Zatanna and her father, the Great Flame. Will that tie to Zara of Crimson Flame from Wonder Woman? You prefer Zara to be magic or science?
I think it's not going to tie to Zara of the Crimson Flame. The main reason that I haven't used or considered using Zara yet of the Crimson Flame, other than the fact that Zatanna and Zatara and Zara seems like a lot, is that that's a cult situation. And I'm not, the Crimson Flame is a cult, and Zara is, as I recall, as I'm remembering it right now, she's sort of a victim of the cult. So I think that if I'm going to tackle that, I really want to tackle cults. Like, I really want to get into it. It's not going to be something like tied to something else, or, you know, if we're going to go there with the Crimson Flame, like, we'll really go there. I think that's a particularly thorny issue for Diana to get into, because her shit is sort of culty in a way. I mean, she's incredibly religious if you think about it. Like, it's weird because I'm an atheist, but, you know, you were talking before, we talked about how I write Wonder Woman, and there is a very strange cadence to it that's very deliberate, that comes a little bit from, like, the way she prays and the way she talks about things and the way she gives things a whole official name and stuff like that. And it all has very, like, religious and sometimes sort of culty undertones. And so I think if we delve into that story, which I am interested in, we'd have to be very careful, and I wouldn't want to muddy it with a lot of other characters that aren't previously connected to it. So
I think this is okay if this is the last question. Okay. Please tell me the answer is listening to Kenny Loggins. What puts you in the writer's zone?
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
you know, we named that Carol Danvers cave after the Danger Zone, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, almost nothing. I do use playlists to sort of create a Pavlovian response. I'm sorry to say that it's only really worked. I mean, it can still help shift my mood. Like, obviously, you want to be listening to very different stuff when you're writing Jeff than when you're writing Absolute Wonder Woman, or, you know, although there's a surprising amount of crossover these days. Anyway, so I think I will use music to try to hold me in a mood or try to help keep me in a zone. But only my Story Killer playlist for my novel, that's the only one that, when that playlist comes up, like, my brain goes, I gotta start writing that. Where's the paper? Like, it's very Pavlovian. I really did do a good job on that one. Unfortunately, I do too many other comics to have had the others get their hooks into me as well. I've written 2 novels. I wrote one called The Girl Who Would Be King. That was my first novel, and I wrote one called Story Killer, which is the second.
Oh, cool! I want to check it out.
Thank you.
You should also check out the Call, Volume 1.
I mean, Omar, why don't you send me your address and I can put a care package into the mail for you guys? I'll send things your way.
Kelly, you don't have to send me 5 copies of Absolute Wonder Woman #1 signed by you and Amy. You don't have to do all that. Please.
Just send me your email when we get off, and I'll send you guys something. Story Killer, I hope I'm going to do more of. I don't know about The Girl Who Would Be King, but Story Killer, I'm just not really willing to leave that world behind. And I do think, even though it's a novel, I do think there's tons of crossover for readers of comics with Story Killer. I mean, Story Killer would make a great comic as well, but it's just not how it began. So,
well, James is helping you to put in a plug for the upcoming tomorrow's Jeff/Aquaman #1 crossover.
What is this?
Yeah, I had no idea it was coming out this week, which is great. I also, when I was first writing it, did not know it wasn't print, so there was a lot of confusion. But yes, we have a Jeff Aquaman short. I'm sorry that this is the first time I'm saying his name out loud. Andre, I'm sorry if I butcher it. Andre Genelet, maybe? He did Runaways. He's done a bunch of cool stuff. He drew this, and I was very familiar with his work before my editor suggested him. We weren't able to get Guri Hero. We obviously tried. Their schedule, their dance card is very full. But Andre, I was like, it's Andreas, so maybe you say the S. Oh, fuck, I don't know. He's a great artist. I was very familiar with his work, but I was like, they were like, so what do you think? And I was like, I mean, honestly, I got to see him draw Jeff. I was like, I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just not everybody can do it. Like, there's a very specific cuteness. There's a very specific style. Like, not everybody can handle it. And he sent it. He's like, what do you think? Mark, the editor, sent it over. He's like, what do you think? I was like, sold. Here we go. And it's super cute. It's very fun. Ken gets to guest star as well. It's the heptopus, the pink furry heptopus that Guri Hero and I created. It's very fun. I hope people will love it. I apologize in advance to Aquaman having to share the screen with Jeff the Landshark, a character that's been around for 7 fucking years. But, you know, sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. He's got his own trajectory. None of us can stop him. I've tried. It doesn't work.
It might be the best-selling Aquaman comic in a long time. The Jeff the Landshark folks, those people are nuts.
They are pretty adamant.
Yeah.
It's been wild. It's been wild to experience. I will say, if people want to get rich making comic book characters, making comic book characters, don't make a tiny character. Like, there are literal rules in contracts about like the size, like to get paid for a figure, it has to be X amount of inches.
What?
Like,
are you serious?
There's stuff like that. There's stuff like that in those contracts. So don't create a tiny little land shark, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh man. No. What about in video games though? Does that apply in video games as well, or just toys?
Yes, video games. I mean, I can't really get into what the details of the contracts are, but yes, there are restrictions on all of it, as you can imagine.
That's nuts. Okay, I'm making nothing but big dudes with giant swords.
Yeah.
No, come on, love no absolute title. It has been good. I really like Jeremy Adams' run.
Listen, my words to Aquaman were not a swing; they were an apology.
Oh, okay. James, ban yourself. Wow.
Look at you.
And on that note, we're gonna end the stream.
Yikes!
Oh, that's supposed to be. All right. Thank you, Kelly, for being here. I'm gonna let Melanie say the goodbyes because this is the first time interviewing Kelly, so it's a big deal.
Goodbye. No, I was kidding. Well, thank you so much.
Honestly, I would have such respect for that. If you were like, goodbye, and you just turned it off.
Did the industry.
Wow.
I am very appreciative. People in the chat are very appreciative. Thank you for your time. Look, it's an absolute pleasure.
Boy, that's never going to get old.
I expect all of you to show up at my wake if I end up fired next week, okay? Thank you.
No, there's no way. You're like printing money right now for companies.
Thank you, Kelly, for creating such great stories and putting them out into the world.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And
honestly, this was a great distraction today.
Oh, yes. And we need that from time to time.
My husband's very distracting.
Yeah, and you are always welcome back. Whether you have something new or a new little character you're creating in Absolute Wonder Woman. That's why Pegasus is so big. That's why all the characters have to be so big in Absolute Wonder Woman.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. And I'll see you on Saturday. Stay minty.